The International Comedy Festival has kicked off, which we've interviewed many people who are part of the show, but I have a seasoned comedy festival artist with me in the studio. Wil Anderson's new DVD is released this week called Luminati. And he's back with a brand new show for the 2015 Comedy Festival called Free Wil. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for having me, Denis, and thank you for saying Luminati right. See, that you're a professional.
Really?
Last year, I did that show for 11 months. I toured it to 6 different countries. I did over 500 shows. We did the last night at the Opera House on January 19, which is what the DVD is of. But I would say that 3/4 of the radio announcers and TV presenters who said the name got it wrong. Half of them, about halfway through, would just turn into Jeff Fennick after a fight. It was like they had a stroke halfway through. They'd be like, they'd start very confidently. It'd be like, it's called Luminati.
And they would have been practicing it.
Oh, you bet they would have. So I've got to say, so it's much easier this year. Free Wil.
Free Wil. Now, tell us about Free Wil. And this, how many? This your 20th?
This is my 20th year here at the festival in a row, which, as one of my friends delightfully pointed out to me the other day, they said, so if you'd murdered someone in your first year, you'd be out of prison now and back on the circuit. And I was like, well, that does put it in perspective, I suppose.
The pressure to come up with new material. I was saying the other day to one of the guests that we've had on who's also starring in the Comedy Festival. We had Steele Saunders on before.
I love Steele Saunders. He's got a wonderful podcast. I Love Gringo Letters. People should check out.
That's right. And what did I say to him? No, it's one of them. I said, I've worked with comedians in Sydney clubs who did the same act for their entire career.
Yes.
You guys can't do that.
No, we can't do that. People don't want to see, the one thing about comedy is, I bet when you go and do gigs, Denis, people want to hear their favourite songs. They want to yell out requests. But nobody comes to a comedy gig and yells out, do that one about Klim being milk spelt backwards you did in 1998. Nobody wants to hear that material anymore. Nobody puts their lighter up. Nobody sings along to the jokes. So,
but can you rework some stuff from years before into today?
It's an interesting idea. I find when I go overseas, because I'm spending half the year in the US now, when I'm on the road and I'm doing gigs in places where they've never seen me before, I'll find some stories or some ideas or some things from previous years come back into the show and back into the act. Maybe things that complement some things that, for example, I'll give people might know that I have osteoarthritis in my hips, and I've talked about that a few times in shows. So when I go to the States and I'm in a place, they've never seen me before, suddenly maybe 3 or 4 years of osteoarthritis material becomes one mega routine about osteoarthritis.
How bad's your osteoarthritis? I can say that as well.
Yeah, I know. That's OA. People can say OA if they would like.
Not if it's better than AA.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know. I think you can recover from AA, whereas OA you've got forever. So, and 12 steps are a lot harder when you've got OA than they are in AA. So, no, with OA, basically, 50% of people over 70 have it. It's quite a common thing. But if you're...
You look so young.
I know. It's indoor work with no heavy lifting, Denis. No, I'm 41, but a lot of people who have it my age, it's hereditary. My dad has about 10-15% of the population have a certain hip socket, which is what I have. And if you play kicking ball sports or do karate or any of those sort of things where your leg goes outside, it rubs, and basically that's where the wear and tear on the hips comes from. So
what about, can you replace?
Yeah, can replace them. They try to recommend that you don't do them early because obviously they only last 10 or 15 years, so they don't want you going in for hip operations 10 or 15 years for, the however long I've got left. Probably not 10 or 15 years.
Well, how long are you going to wait? Because they are doing them younger now, a bit younger.
Yeah. And look, I definitely, when it gets to the point, but I did a few other things that really helped. I lost some weight. One of the things they really tell you is that you lose some money off your... lose some money. Yeah, that was what was weighing me down, Denis. It was all my money. I had to lose my money and I was fine.